Hi, I'm Niall from Wheel Decals, based here in Brisbane. I'm just going to go through how I install decals, graphics, stickers, whatever you want to call them. Hopefully give you a few tips on how to do it yourself and be happy with the end result. I'm going to show you how I install one of, it's probably as large as you will get. So we've got a few things to keep an eye on. So the first thing is, I'll take it, make sure I've got the right side. The backing paper there, it's sort of sitting out about another 3mm. That's okay. Just see whereabouts we're going to be. That's all looking good. So now I would probably like to take a bit of backing paper out of here. So if I get that there positioned, it's only a small piece attached. So whenever it's fixed there, I can have a closer look to see that it's accurate here. It needs to be accurate here, because if it's not going to be accurate over here. So you just want to set yourself up well at the start without overcommitting and having all this adhesive just stuck on it and you're fighting with it to try and get it right. I'm looking at the side frame face on. It's giving me the best sort of vantage point. So I'm trying to get it right here, looking at as many edges as possible. And now I'm just going to work my way back, get this on. So now this is all loose. So this here wouldn't be very hard if I had to reposition. So I'm just going to check down here, and that looks really good. And over here, that looks good. So I might as well just take the smaller backing paper piece off. I'll maybe just tape this up so you can make sure you can see it okay. So there's a bit of an indent, so I don't really want to use the squeegee. Plus as well, I can kind of see, and if I'm off a little, I can kind of pull a little. So the adhesive has got an air release, and it means if there's small air bubbles, it escapes nice and quickly, which is great. I'm not trying to go too fast. I'm just taking my time, sort of little by little, with what I feel comfortable with. And you can kind of see I'm sort of swapping between using my thumb and using the squeegee. So it's whatever you feel comfortable with or confident. So after I finish this, I would probably come to this edge and just run the knife along there just to trim it and tidy it up. We've just got a little bit of overhang. So now on this piece, it's quite a big piece and I don't want to make a lot of work for myself, so I'm going to try and split it in two. And I'm trying to make sure that I'm going up in the right position. You can see this gap here. So here we don't have it because I worked it down into it before the rest of it's stuck on. So if it's not too deep, it will catch. But it also normally needs, if it's quite a lot of air, it needs somewhere to escape. So you need to peel it back and do that. And now because of this drop off, it's kind of put a few potential creases. So I'll just lift it up slightly, get the air out. And that there has caused the vinyl to stretch a little. So I feel like I'm gonna have to use the heat gun to sort of bring it back more into its original form. We'll try and do what we can without. I try to do as much as possible without using the heat gun. It's not always required, but it can make a big difference. get back to that after. So I feel like I am going to have to use the heat gun here as it starts to wrap around the front of the fairing. So I don't like to use too much. You'll see a lot of the creases almost basically disappear. If there's any that look like they're still gonna be there, I try and take a bit of care. I'll just get rid of this air bubble again. It's okay to do this. Removing it slightly. No point letting it bother you in future, having to look at this air bubble. And because there's this ridge here, to make sure that the vinyl doesn't want to lift off the fairing, I'll put quite a bit of heat into it to break the memory. And you want to just check the all the way around the fairing, make sure that it's completely sealed in place. The amount of heat that I put into it there, it wouldn't actually have been enough to genuinely break the memory of the vinyl. You need to heat it over 90 degrees. I have a little heat gun that tells me, and it definitely is a good job. The other thing is you could actually put knifeless tape down there and separate it into two pieces. There's a couple of mil sort of overhang on the lower part of this. For this here, I would just use the likes of this knife. I would remove this piece, and rather than cutting on the fairing, I would cut along the edge. But it's just a bit of a tricky position. So best thing to do would just be, whenever the job's done completely, if you've got little pieces like this that you want to tidy up, you just take the fairings off and you just spend a little bit of time going through it with the knife and trimming where required.